Hello, hello, and welcome back to my settlement archive. Let's go with that. This is Hangman's Alley. This is, while not technically the most impressive, this was one of my first builds that I thought was impressive, so let's get into it. Coming into here, we have a guard post with the big Minuteman banner up on the left. Again, we will encounter lots of Spartan living conditions in my settlements, but it is what it is. We have a guard here who is fully equipped in their Minuteman blues. And we have the original guard post from the settlement when it was infested by raiders, still established and now introduced as the Hangman's Market. Obviously the door that I've used far more because I'm usually coming from Diamond City. Anti-rads for free. What? That's why the hell can you do that? That's cool. I didn't do that. We have the Crafter's Nook for all crafting purposes, except power armor because I don't personally use it. Water tanks enjoying a nice shower here. And then the idea with the settlement was that it was meant to be a market alley. So it was meant to feel claustrophobic and overwhelming, which kind of works, I think. Oh, and the other main feature is it's where I sent all of my made unique traders. We have Smiling Larry, we have the Scribe, we have the Vault Tech Rep. Now, admittedly, I don't know if I just couldn't be bothered or what, but the other three I never got, I guess. No idea. And we also use a bunch of... oh god, it's not thematic and practical, it's the other one. Between these recordings, I literally stopped to repeat the names to myself a bunch. Let's see, what's it called? Northland Diggers. A lot of these Northland Diggers resource stations and a communication station for my salvage beacons, as well as one of these very compact backup generators. I mean, I honestly could have fit a fusion generator back here, but... c'est la vie. This is pretty much the only place in the settlement I could figure to put some food. This, unfortunately, without using a mod like Scrap Everything, which I don't personally like. Normally I like working around these difficulties, just in this particular case, that was annoying to do. This building can't get removed, which really messes with the overall flow of the alley, but I made it work. Now, because of the proximity, the confines of the alley, I should say, this is probably... Oh, there is a power armor thing here. This is probably one of the worst for my Spartan living conditions. But up here we have one of these train cars, which I use for beds. And this was the very last thing I added in this alley, because I only did it recently. This little walkway, which I think helps with the sort of cramped conditions vibe. Wish I'd put something up here though, but it does give you access to this turret. I remember I tried putting something up here, like putting more building up here. Oh, lord. But all of those bits and pieces poking out make it a nightmare to really put something there. But maybe next time. I've got thoughts and ideas. And yeah, the back door, this is one of those ones where I'm quite happy with the fact that I did my best to... Oh, that's nice. I put some Brotherhood armor here for the Scribe. Apologies, sometimes I am discovering things for the first time because some of these settlements I worked on in 2021 or whatever. But this is one of those ones where I'm quite happy that I worked with the confines of the settlement. Next playthrough, I'm thinking this one might be my Mercer safe house for the railroad, so it might look entirely different. But overall, I'm still kind of happy with it, even if it's not... Those are some nice animations that I wish they did by default instead of it being unique to that one that was up there by the raiders. That's probably why they do it. Admittedly, upsetting that you can't get rid of the dead body. That feels a bit macabre. Although I will start to mention that occasionally I actually have remembered to have my provisions dressed up in their Minutemen blues. If I had continued playing, honestly, I would have probably swapped out Water Tank for a Armorer robot, and he would have just carried a bunch of Minuteman armor for me, so that I could armor up any provisions that I came across while walking around the wasteland. And here we are in Diamond City. Now, home plate traditionally is a nightmare to work with. It doesn't have a lot of the normal amenities. Most notably, you cannot connect it to a supply line, which usually makes it a nightmare. Here we have probably one of the more impressive suits of Minuteman Blues. I have a mod that allows me to connect it to the settlement, because otherwise it's practically worthless. And it also connects all of these workbenches outside to the settlement, which makes these so much more useful. Now, for a long time, if I sent salvage beacons home, I would send them all home to the home plate. Because time ago it was my player home. I think I moved from Sanctuary to the home plate, and then I moved to a third location that we'll see another time. But after I moved out, I had to convert home plate into something. But this was around the time that I beat the game. So it is now the Minuteman Diamond City Recruitment Center. So here we have a front desk. This is technically a guard post. Here we have a armor box where if I've done this correctly, yeah, everything in here is already painted Minuteman blue. So the idea being people come in, they get recruited, they have armor waiting for them. Oh, there's a pair of sunglasses. I lost my pair of sunglasses in Vault 88 not long before I started recording these and had to jump through some hoops to find a new one. One of these is for taxes, the other one's for mail, I think. This is where the Minuteman propaganda gets a little bit heavier. The only place... Now, of course, it doesn't make any sense. Of course, it doesn't make any sense, but a recruitment radio beacon, I think, in theory, the idea of this tower would go all the way to the roof, but c'est la vie. And up here, you know, shockingly, it's Spartan living conditions. I used to live here, but I basically packed it with enough beds to man the place, basically. Somebody's been sneaking some holotapes in. And back here we have a pretty robust workshop with people doing workshopy things. Another suit of Minuteman blues. And possibly the only one in any of my settlements, we have an actually sort of well thought out bathroom with privacy and things, which is mental that this is one of the few times that I did this. And we have workbenchy things, and somebody's trying to get a motorbike off the ground. And water tank is doing things. Interesting. But yeah, that's my home plate. Given that I don't really love it as a player home, it's a really weird shape, is the thing. Because I've made it into a more traditional settlement, it needed things like the fence, so I've done that. But it's a really awkward shape, and doesn't inspire much design things, but who knows, maybe next time I play I'll put a bit more effort into it. But yeah, those are Hangman's Alley and the home plate and transmission.